What's up everybody, how's it going? It's back, aka Dan's Great here, and welcome back to what may well be the final session of live commentary for the Final Fantasy X Masters Mod playthrough. Now what I mean by this is that we have made it all the way to Penance, and we have been through some truly difficult battles so far in this playthrough, and I know that Penance is going to be a notable step up from anything that we fought up until this point. And since we know that Penance is always going to be a long fight, I mean, I did ask Karifean about this. I was like, is it going to be like a test of endurance like the original one where, you know, if you're really going at your own pace and you're thinking about it and you're taking your time, it could take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to beat Penance. He said it's not as much of an endurance fight as the first one, but obviously that doesn't mean that it's going to be easier, but just that it's going to be less sort of drawn out as much as the original was. So what this means is that I'm going to give it a go in this session. We're going to have our first attempts. I'm going to set myself up, give it a few goes, see what's going to happen, and if I really find that it's going to be such a struggle that, let's say, I'm getting through the first phase, but that's taking me 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I'm just frequently dying over and over again, and I'm not making much progress, it's going to become sort of the case where I get to that point where I start to run out of things to say in every fresh attempt, and I kind of switch off my commentary mode, and I really lock in, and I try to focus on winning the fight instead of commentating, and just trying to think of things to say when I've already done the fight so many times up until that point. So, depending on how things go, this might be the final live session, where I'm just going to record the live commentary, and then by the end of it, I might just say, okay, I've kind of said everything I can say about the fight so far, and the attempts that I've had. Now I'm just going to knuckle down and try to win, just kind of get the headset off, just maximum focus, and if it takes another 10 hours from here, it takes another 10 hours, and then once I have the win, then I can kind of talk about the experience with post-commentary. So that's generally the idea here, but before all that, we're going to need to kind of cash in these final sphere levels and make some preparations to see what are the final stats that we're going to be facing Penance with. Okay, so after beating the Dark Magus Sisters, we got 6 more sphere levels, and I think in general one thing I have really enjoyed about this mod is that it's kept the stats quite restricted. I did wonder if basically in the post-game he's going to find a way to basically give us, like, I don't know, 99 sphere levels per fight or something, or like 99 sphere levels after all of the Dark Aeons, so that by the time we face Penance, it's going to look quite familiar in terms of we're going to be able to get some super beefy stats, like, I don't know, let's say over 200 in most of the major stats, or over 150. But if you look at it now, this basically, these stats don't look incredibly different from what you'd get sort of at the end game, like the end of the story in vanilla. Like, if you've been kind of doing a little bit of grinding, a little bit of extra work, like, you can get roughly these kind of stats towards the end of the game. It's definitely higher, like most people are not fighting Braskus Fine Leon with Auron at strength at this kind of level. But it's not far off. Like, normally these stats you would be getting absolutely destroyed by the Dark Aeons unless you really knew what you were doing and you had, like, you know, all of the right equipment and that kind of thing. Like, it's very underpowered is what I'm trying to say. But obviously he's balanced everything around having these types of stats, and I think it's kind of refreshing. Like, the fact that we're facing Penance and we don't need to have like 255 strength, 255 defense and all that kind of stuff, I think it's kind of nice. So, what do we do? Where do 6 sphere levels get us? It gets us, it's not a bad final chunk. Can we move around at all? Basically, the final thing I'd consider for Auron is that if he gets to 44 agility, he gets to go up 1 more notch in terms of his tick speed. So we don't have any return spheres though, unfortunately. We'd have to use like a warp sphere to do that for him. So we'll see. I think characters like Waka, again, like, he's not going to get any further here in terms of his agility. Don't think that's going to be possible. So I think we'll just move it along for him. Sloga might be nice. There's a chance maybe it works. I don't know. I think I probably will use some Gil on this. Is it a +4? 3. Okay, we'll take it. Whoops. Yeah, I need to, I guess, again, it's kind of a bit of a Braskus Fine Leon thing, where for that fight I was just kind of like, I can basically throw everything at him because there's no like save point continuation after this, so I didn't care about using everything that I had. And Penance is kind of the same, because it's the final boss battle. I don't have to think about, oh, do I need to have Gil left over, or, you know, if I use this customization slot and blah blah, I can just kind of go for it and see what's going to happen. So for Yuna, I just think we don't have a lot of scope for movement. Like even with the warp sphere, you can. Does the warp sphere move you to it, or does it? It should move you. It's a warp sphere, right? Move to any node. Yeah. What's her agility? 52. I just don't think there's any parts of the grid that could get you up a tier, because from here it's 62. Let's check Riku out here. Yeah, 54, 58. If I'm willing to give up a 1 MP cost, I can probably get one more character up another agility tier, so I don't know, I could warp to... Would this be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. What about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it! Should be 2 sphere levels short. So I don't think there's a chunk of agility that with 6 sphere levels you could get like. She only needs 8. Sorry, she doesn't need more than that. So having one more character have like a higher tick speed level could definitely be interesting. So at the moment, at least, it's definitely not cut and dry in terms of what we're gonna do here. I think I missed this magic node with Yuna the first time through as well. For some reason, that magic node just eludes me. But his magic's down at 59, like it's fine. But there is a little bit of HP boost here for Kimari, which is going to be nice. I mean, he is another character that has use, so be useful for us. Okay. Basically, Auron being this slow is pretty much only beneficial for Threaten. And if I can't Threaten Penance's arms or something, let's say, then him being this slow will just be straight up a detriment. So he's even more so the one I'm thinking about moving, because Sentinel strats always tend to be quite nice against Penance if you can pull them off. I definitely made use of it in my own Sphere Grid victory against Penance. So it might be worth kind of having another look at that. Lulu. I think for Lulu we just kind of push on as well. I don't think she can do much else here. At least she gets the last bit of MP, which is nice. Final bit of HP as well. Does that take her above? Yeah, okay, she was already above. So I think break HP limit is going to be only relevant if there's like a fixed quad 9 attack, for example, a little bit like Nova, where you either use auto life or you need break HP limit to survive it. So Riku, Auron, Yuna, Tidus. Yeah, Auron's in an interesting spot here. That's only a +2 agility, which I don't like. Silence Buster. I don't think we're going to use moves like that at this stage. Dark Buster. So I think what I'll do here, I'll also head to Besaid. I want to have a look at the shop there one last time. Want to see if it's at this stage it's worth getting any purple spheres, and I'm going to make some sales of anything that I think surely at this stage for Penance I'm not going to use. Like the final bit of gil that I can collect here. So at least then we know. Then I'll have to decide like how many Phoenix Downs am I getting, how many Albed potions do I want, remedies, and any purple or fortune spheres that I want as well. So just trying to eke out that final bit of kind of gil and efficiency on the sphere grid while I can. So let me check the fortune sphere situation first. Yeah, for Waka I'm definitely going to activate that. Tyus's luck is pretty low. I think... I kind of feel like maybe I just need to fight it, because obviously what would be the point of buying like another luck sphere / fortune combination if Tidus can hit anyway? And while maybe, again, it's also not even worth it for Waka, his luck is already high enough, so it's just a waste of gil to buy more Fortune Spheres. And 4,000 at this stage is kind of valuable, so the only other person I'm thinking of is Oren, but his luck is up at 29 now. So, you know what? It's a bit of a waste, but I am actually going to go and literally try Penance at this stage. We'll do the scanning, we'll do the kind of which characters can make a hit, all of that kind of stuff. And then that will kind of inform what I want to do for the rest of it. Now, a question I do have actually is kind of something that I guess a lot of people don't consider, is that with Penance, it's kind of at that stage it's a little bit too little too late, but you could farm the arms for Dark Matters. You could just kill the arms like repeatedly and then just flee the fight if you could survive obliteration and stuff, which is kind of funny. But I'm pretty sure in this mod, like, there's going to be no value in beating the arms. But maybe, again, for people that are super struggling against Penance, maybe he gives you a chance to kind of improve something by just defeating the arms. But we can't flee anyway, so I guess it just that whole thing just doesn't work. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. We're going to try Penance here.
Here we go.
Get a first impression. I want to know what music it is. Also. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. It's the Yu-Yeba music. I think this is a great fit as well. I generally like what he's done with the music, the Dark Anima music, the Mega Sisters music, and this one. It's a good fit. I like it. Okay, so first of all, let's find out if he who judges if you are a true master. I love it. Only 1,000,000 HP. Easy. Light work. Ah, shit, I forgot. I've got the thing on. I think at the moment I don't mind it so much. I've got the Untitled Project X thing on. I think initially let's just keep it on for a second. I need to scan them anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. But I will turn it off for the actual fights. So 200k for the arms. Let's see what it says. The fast and hyperactive one of the two arms will deliver a violent end. Or deliver a tranquil end. Interesting. So, yeah, first of all, the boss is called Seraph. I think I'd like Karifean to kind of explain why he's gone for this one. It's interesting. It's a cool name. And then we've got Dexter and Sinister. I like that. Dex I associate with speed anyway, and then Sinister. Let's see, the strong and calm one. Yeah, really interesting stuff already. Now, are they going to block attacks? Are they going to Sentinel? I have to imagine. They don't have Sentinel active, and they don't have Guard active, so I guess they allow you to just smack in the middle. So let's just try a hit on the arm first. I need to see if these stats are going to be good enough. So let's bring in Oren and test. Okay, he hits the main body, that's good. He doesn't have piercing on his weapon, so that's also an important note. Mari. I don't know if the arms are going to be harder to hit. The fast and hyperactive one, I don't know if that means it's harder to hit. Could also have higher evasion. Okay. Mighty Guard, that's the same. Love that. But no regen. Heartless Angel, love it. Oh, great animation. That's so dope. I ain't even mad. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. White Wind, okay. Love it. Heartless Angel is such a great name for a move, and its mechanics are so harsh. But, like, I can't hate on that. That's dope. Okay. Ah, crap, because the elementals, it's immune. So, okay, we got Doom. I need to start noting these down as well. We got Doom, we got Heartless Angel, we got Mighty Guard, we got Arcane Seal. Yeah, this means already death. I didn't even get to scan. I didn't even see the damage. Fine. I think for me, the absolute first priority is, can I even hit them with physical attacks? And so far, at least, yes, it was immune, but we actually made the hit, like we didn't miss. So I think I want to try the hyperactive arm as well. Because that one, just based on the sensor text, it sounds like it might be the case that it's more evasive. So he might be opting for a little bit of a, you need to use magic to kill that arm, and you need physical attacks more so for the other arm, something like that. Like forcing you to combine your physical and your magic, potentially. But Heartless Angel looks so damn cool. I love it. The animation, like that's peak. Alright, can Orin hit this arm? He can. So the signs are quite good. We've already seen poison as well. That's nice. So I think I'm starting to be convinced that I don't think I need any more luck. I think Tidus is the one with the lowest luck. I need to try him, I think, if I can. So let's get that scan in on Penance. No auto-reflect. No bullshit like that. Okay, so let's get... I'm just going to take the photo again of this one. Literally just dropped my phone after taking the photo. Getting nervous here. Okay. 99 strength and 99 magic. Imagine, like, the biggest super boss of the game doesn't even have a strength or magic stat over 100. And I love that he stayed true to his kind of elemental approach. I think, like, literally making Penance weak to all 4 elements is really cool. Like, he's really tried to be like, look, if anyone's building around having, like, let's say 4 elemental strikes, you could be very well rewarded in this mod. So, an angel from heaven or hell regenerates dead arms, which also resets its gauge, but subsequently speeds up its charge rate until launching Judgment Day. I think this is nice, because it's a similar approach to what Pbirdman did, in terms of basically Penance having that overdrive gauge, so you don't have to bog yourself down in the fight by constantly keeping account of Judgment Day. I think for the vanilla, it's kind of cool. And it's kind of obviously it's a higher level thing to have to do. For a super boss, it's understandable to kind of have to go the extra mile if you're going to deal with Judgment Day, depending on how you're fighting it, to be able to have to counter. But in general, it's not a mechanic that I really like, because it's just really annoying to track. Like, to try and get to 20, and then this is +1, that's +1, and then either mentally keeping track of it, which I think is very tough, and then, or just having like a notepad or something that you keep like track with it. I don't know, I've never loved it too much, and so the idea that you just have a gauge there that tells you when it's full, I think that's fine. And well, obviously, you can do that while not making the fight easy as a result, as you're probably going to see from this one. So, also has 2 full life bars. No holding back. Give it your all. 2 full life bars. Sheesh. Okay, so 2 million. Not 1 million. Fine. Immune to threat, and I just saw that. Let's see what else it's immune to. So, I've got my big, like, master list here of statuses. So, let's see what we can do. I think Poison... Poison has continued to be, like, a super, super useful status effect. Like, basically I think all the Dark Aeons have been susceptible to poison. That's kind of wild. But I have to kind of rotate through all of them to make sure I'm not missing anything. Sleep, Silence, Darkness. It's not available. Slow's not available. Zombie has generally been another one that he lets you always use. I think it's the same case here. We can zombify Penance, which is kind of interesting. It's immune to regen, so at least we won't have to be dealing with like regen bullshit. We kind of saw it from the Mighty Guard anyway, but still. Immune to threaten. Again, with delay, I always forget if it literally says delay or if it's immune to kind of slow. It automatically means it's immune to delay. So, delay, I'm just going to test it. Susceptible to the breaks, again, much like every pretty much Dark Aeon. Doesn't say anything about gravity magic, which is also kind of interesting. So I think gravity is on the table, potentially. We'll have to see. So gravity is another one worth testing. And elemental is weak to all. Okay. So that's just That's just Penance itself. The arms are a different beast. But we're going to see. Good poison damage. And it always seemed to use it as its first move. Mighty 8. And, okay. White Wind. That's a rough one. Okay. Just trying to keep note of these moves as well while I'm at it. You do not get a lot of time after this one. Kimari's not going to get another turn. We're going to need like multiple attempts just to even get all of the scan data at this point. But let's just start with a Demi. And then some kind of Thundaga. Let me see what kind of damage I'm doing here. Gravity Absorb. There you go. Okay. Interesting. I like that. Oh, it's like completely nothing. I wondered if maybe the arms are susceptible, but... okay. So next up is Doom. Need that Life Preserver, especially if we're going to be working with buffs, which we pretty much are. Arcane Seal, which... let me track this damage here at least. Look closely this time. 13,000. Kimari was immune. If you have all 4 of the... oh, shit. Hold on. This is an interesting revelation here. All elements? Wow. Okay. So we get to have a second scan as a result. Go Kimari. Nice job. I was busy kind of writing down all elements. I didn't see, like, he got hit with a water afterwards. So here we go. It's our second one. This fight looks very interesting already. Absorbs gravity attacks. Does that mean that if the arms are taken out, then we can actually use the gravity attacks? Uses White Wind on its first turn and Tranquil End on its 4th. Its divine elemental attacks are physical and inflict statuses. Slow and poison work well. Okay, so let's put the arm in to my little table so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to call this one Sin. So it's definitely generally strong against elemental magic. That's an important one to note. So, poison and slow work. Silence does not. Sleep does not. Threaten works, from what I'm seeing. That's a good one. Delay, again, I need to test that one. Breaks, yes. But I think White Wind heals the breaks, so I think you can't like regularly kind of deal with the breaks. But it's not immune to regen, which is kind of interesting too. Absorbs gravity. Okay. So slow and poison work well. Its divine elemental attacks are physical and inflict stasis. I think what he's trying to say there is that obviously if you have the nulls, then you can just be immune, like Kimari was there. Violent End. Let's see what this is. Oh. Okay. Violent End. 3,500 on Kimari. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to find out more about those moves, so we're going to be launching back in a few more times here before we even start to build a picture of what we're dealing with. But definitely some very interesting things already here. Like, there's a lot going on. But I think we're already seeing that protection from the elements is looking pretty key here. Alright, let's go again. Let's get the scan on Dexter. Right. Ah, Mighty Guard or Hasteger on its first turn and Violent End on its third. Kimari can learn Doom. Ooh. That's very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Let's make notes again. I don't know if the statuses are identical. He doesn't say like slow and poison work well. I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm literally... I ran out of space on my table. I'm having to erase some of the ones I've already beaten to make room. Alright, so now we got Dex. I'm going to immediately write down Learn Doom. That's fascinating. Maybe we put Doom on Penance. I need to double check if it's immune. That Doom is an immunity I wasn't even checking. I'm sure Penance itself is immune to Doom, but let's have a look. Silence, darkness. Sleep, silence, darkness. So sleep, silence, darkness, no. Poison, yes. Slow, yes. Zombie, yes. Threaten, yes. Breaks, yes. Regen, yes. Gravity, absorb. That photo in as well. Okay. So Kimari might end up being a very useful character in this fight, and I love that that's the case. Okay. What do we want to test? We want to test like delay, but I don't think I can now. So if it does use a Hasteger, I need to dispel Penance, and I can use Sloga on the arms, but for Penance I'd need to dispel because it's immune to slow. Let's have a look at our current double cast damage. I think that's also kind of good to know. $13,000, okay. 13k on Penance, 10k on the arms. Yeah, I've got 3 Mighty Guards in a row here. Oh man, I love this attack so much. It's one of my favorite ones of the mod so far. Absolutely brilliant. White Wind. So what this means, just to kind of put this to the test, we can swap to that. Let's also test our delay situation here. Can we delay Penance or the arms? Let's try with this arm first. Immune to delay, okay. I'm pretty sure they're all immune to delay, if that's the case. Again, I was noting something down, I didn't see it, but I'm sure it's the case. Okay. Now, Penance also restores MP from White Wind. I think I saw that. So at least that means that you can consistently Osmos back. So this kind of lends a little bit more kind of to the fact that I can maybe get away with not having 1 MP cost. Karifean himself did say that he never used it in his own kind of tests and runs of the game. So it's definitely far from essential, but for me, I kind of like having it. So far, we haven't seen anything that has an MP drain, I think. So, I don't know. But the amount of HP that we're having to deal with is really huge. Like, taking out 200 to 250,000 with the current stats that we have is, yeah, not great. So now, obviously, after Mighty Guard, we're only doing, like, getting a mass dispel is going to be quite tough. So Arcane Seal, at this stage I'm hoping Kimari and Yuna survive. Yeah, that's looking good. Anything else we can test while we're here? Let's do something like Silver Hourglass. Calamity. Note that down. Calamity. Nasty status as always. And obviously we have no idea what Judgment Day does. I think just for the sake of trying to survive this next move, slowing the arms does give you a lot of breathing room. That's definitely a nice idea. Obviously one has to wonder, is it better to maybe not kill the arms? Violent End, can we survive this? Ooh, Reaper took huge damage there. Now, what statuses do we have to deal with Violent End? Let's make a note of that. Yeah, I think increasingly like an elemental approach could be really good for this one, like a bunch of Eater armors or weapons. You know, a bunch of SOS nulls and hanging out in those situations. Could be quite interesting for this fight, I feel. Now, I want to see if... Does Heartless Angel do 0? I want to see some Doom counter. Oh no, Ultima. Shoot! 19,000. How the hell do we survive that? Ultima 19k. Yikes. So I kind of want to see the Doom situation next. So I think this might be the last attempt, and then after this one, well, I wouldn't call it an attempt, but like the last kind of research thing, and then we're going to have a look at things once more. Like, the problem for me feels like it's obviously, because it is Penance, it's the final super boss of an already very difficult Masters mod. It kind of covers all of its bases very well. So, like, obviously you'd want to try and get the brakes on. They're all susceptible to the brakes, but White Wind is powerful. I assume White Wind heals all of the brakes, right? And the brakes cost 99 MP to do, and it's a very slow move. So it's like constantly reapplying brakes just seems like a bit of a difficult exercise here. I'm not so sure. So I think still I'm just going to try and get this. But I think I can definitely try and build something around Heartless Angel and the SOS kind of null everything situation. We don't have Candle of Life, right? I think let's go for this. This time I bet it's going to use haste. Maybe it detects if they're slowed. No? I haven't seen a haste here yet. Also need to find out if there's anything that dispels like all three of these guys in a single move. Feels unlikely to me, but... Let's just confirm this, because this is something that if I get this wrong, it'll be a bit silly. So let me just... It's going to be White Wind next. So I'm pretty sure that removes... Yeah, it keeps the buffs, removes all of that. It's such a nice ability. I kind of want to know what other statuses we have to deal with here. Right, what else can we use? Can just Silver Hourglass again. Like, it just seems like you can't keep anything permanently crippled here. Any kind of debuffing that you need to do, you're probably going to have to reapply it. Now, let's use Doom. Can I just scan? Yeah, I lose the turn. Why is this turn so far down? Holy crap. I'm pretty sure Penance himself is immune, but I'm just going to test. I think I need one more try to then try it on the arms, but instead of scanning and then flipping through, I just didn't make a note of the Doom. Yeah, it's immune to Doom. So it can be used for the arms, obviously not Penance itself. Fine. That's what I assumed, but it would be very silly to assume that and then not test it again. Yeah, 14,000. I think I saw a darkness and a silence here. So if you do survive it, that's what you can expect at the least. See if there's any chance. I think it's... We'll see if it follows a pattern at least. Is it going to be Ultima next? Pentafire. Pentafire, Divine Fire. Okay. Yeah, it just feels like if you don't have your elemental protections, you're kind of screwed. Okay. So I need one more try just to get Doom on those arms. I need to see what kind of counter they have. Maybe it's like 3. But I feel like the old school like kind of tactics of blitzing out the arms, I'm not sure it's going to work as well in this one. But on the other hand, keeping them alive kind of seems problematic. So either, again, I kind of pick one of the two, and I try to keep one of the arms down, and see if I can live with the effects of the other, maybe, because that might be more realistic to get to, like kill one of the arms. Alright. I think this will definitely be the last one. Let's do this. Now, I'm having a look. This one is called the Strong and Calm one, but I think in terms of its agility, it looks the same. Ah, okay. Wait, is it? Let's look at this here. Like, the gap between them seems the same here, roughly. Not sure. Let's see if... yeah, the problem is, like, double cast elementals are not going to work so well against this guy. I want to see how much someone like Waka is doing for this guy. I imagine things like triple foul are not going to work very well. You're probably going to need the busters. So let's start to speed this up. We've seen these moves already. Okay. Do we get brakes on? Okay. I want to see like how much damage can we do to these bloody arms. But I can't now. I'm just going to use Doom. That's what I came for. Let's just do that. So, this arm uses Mighty Guard, Doom, and the End, and then the other one uses White Wind, Calamity. Yeah, basically, if I take out this one, I can keep the debuffs on it in terms of the brakes. I can put the brakes on and keep the brakes on, as long as it doesn't use White Wind. I'm not sure how long it takes it to come back, but 3. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. So I think I have enough to go off right now. It's going to be kind of heading back to the Sphere Grid / shops and then seeing how well we can kind of prepare for our first attempt here. At least I don't have to worry about luck, it seems. Like we're hitting the arms and Penance itself pretty consistently. So let me head back. I forgot that the autosave like triggers here. Alright, so I think it's time to put a new save in here. Before I start meddling with this stuff. I think at this stage I'm thinking I probably need 2 different armors per character. One like purely for the SOS null situation, like to use before Heartless Angel. or like swap to it after Heartless Angel, and then have one that's a lot more kind of just generally straight up just like status protection, maybe some auto protect, auto haste, that kind of thing. So I think I want to start with like selling any equipment that at this stage I'm like, surely it's not going to be useful. So Life Preserver there was nice, Health Preserver there's nice, Sanity Preserver there's pretty nice. So all of these are really nice like building blocks for some extra stuff that we could be doing. Now I feel like anything that has kind of partial protection like this surely is not going to be worth it. As far as I understand it, Arcane Seal requires protection from all 4 of the elements to not do any damage, so I think she already has this one. So we just sell this kind of stuff at this stage. I think I'm going to get rid of these. Maybe. Like, how many weapons could one really need? I think this one, let's keep it. Okay. SOS Overdrive. Yeah, I feel like SOS Overdrive I probably don't need, but 3 extra slots. I mean, we've already got this one for another one. So, for now, again, I've already got a save. I can just, if it ends up being something I regret, I can always go back. Yeah, Lulu's basically never going to have all 4 protected. So I'd rather kind of build a new thing for her instead of just using this one. Just put an SOS null. How many can I make of those? I can make 3. Okay. So I have 2 characters that can already do it. Kimari, I might have to keep it as it is, and then if I could make 3 more, then that would literally mean almost everybody has it. So like these, I think at this stage can go. Yeah, maybe we can customize this at this stage. I feel like one of those I'm probably not going to need. Maybe this one I'm going to have another look at this stage. It doesn't have piercing, which against Penance is not working quite so well. What about his elemental protection? Yeah, I mean we can get him to protect all of the elements too, so maybe worth it. Ah, this is kind of a nice... Oh, but if it's not nulled... How does it work? I think basically, if he swaps from this one obviously nullifies the attack completely. I think this one would not nullify the attack, but I think he might take the statuses, but he'd increase his health, I think. It's a bit of a weird one, this weapon here, because it does plug like the final gap that he has. So he'd have either immunity or he'd eat the final element that got through. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, this Tetra Ward, like the amount of damage that we're taking, I feel like, and well, they come with statuses too. So Tetra Ward, like, is it really that useful? I don't think so, but yeah, this is kind of interesting for Waka. Would allow us to do more damage to Penance. I think for Waka, we're just going to have to make him something elemental. He's one of those guys I think he really needs one. This one at this stage, probably just not going to use. SOS Reflect is kind of interesting. SOS Reflect, SOS Null, all. Could be an interesting one to switch to. Because if you bounce back their spells, they will do damage, and Penance especially will be hit by it. So it could be interesting. Okay, so I've got 45k now. What do I want to do? Yeah, I don't know what type of damage, I guess, those moves are. We do get hit with an Ultima. That seems pretty unavoidable to me. I mean, it's just straight up, you got to survive. So anything that's elemental, I think I have to try and protect with SOSs, honestly. Or like basically just nulls. I don't know what type of damage Violent End is. But I have a feeling Magic Defense is probably the one to go for if I do want to give anybody any buffs. Evasion, Accuracy, Luck. Yeah, I think it's either going to be Defense or Magic Defense, so let's have another look here. Yeah, its Magic Defense is 19. Yeah, it's a tough decision because I think I can get either Riku or let's start with Kumari again here. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Riku and Auron in terms of who's going to potentially take the Warp Sphere and go up another tier of agility, because naturally I don't think anyone can with the sphere levels we have left. So it's Auron or Riku. I think for the rest we kind of just have to commit to what we have and just hope it's going to be enough. I think it will be, as long as we set everything else up correctly, but... I think what I won't do for now is I won't use any purple spheres on anyone who's eligible for them, because I want to see if there's a way that I can work with the breaks and, for example, try to keep Penance broken by taking out the left arm, for example. Yuna, agility 52. I'm pretty sure there's no way. Because she has the null spells, it kind of would be nice if I could get her to 62. Which again requires 3 agility nodes to be accessible within 6 sphere levels. And I think that's a bit unlikely. I just don't think there's a chunk like that. 2, 4... it's a 1. Yeah, maybe somewhere where I placed an agility node might work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 nodes short. I think it's unlikely. I'm just going to go all the way through Riku's grid and just have another look. Well, actually there is a way. There is a way for everybody. I forgot there's Kimari's portion of the grid. So anyone I want, I can bring them up another tier. So hold on, what's the maximum I can do here? Let's say I start here. That's 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I grab 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of agility. So Yuna would go up a tier. I'm pretty sure everyone would. Like, we've got enough to make that happen. Well, no. I think the likes of Lulu wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think there's enough nodes for that. Just trying to figure out what's like the maximum chunk that you could get out of going to that part of the grid. With like 6 sphere levels, like what's the most efficient bunch? These are all 1-pointers, so I think it's not as good to start from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's just this block here, that's the best you can do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think 13 is the maximum amount of agility that I can get. So you need 49 or more to get to the next tier. So Waka could, Yuna could, Tidus can't, ironically enough, he's kind of stuck. Lulu can't, she's also stuck. Riku could, but for her it might be a little bit kind of almost overkill, because she doesn't need that many. So for her, what else could she grab while she's kind of down there, I guess? We could start her off. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 51, 62. Yeah, so she'd be fine. So I could start Riku off here and still get to 62, so I'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Riku would go up a tier and she'd get 40 more MP to boot. Not sure how important that is. A little more evasion, but I don't think that's useful. I mean, Waka ended up becoming a half-decent all-rounder at this stage. Because his magic defense is a bit better than, say, like Auron, who's all the way down at 19. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of Sentinel work to be done. Maybe in the second form, of course, but for the first form at least. I'm not seeing, like, any, like, slapping moves or anything like that. So I feel like for the first form at least, Auron's not going to be particularly useful. But it's just who is like the most valuable character to have on a higher tier of agility. Now we have a bit of a different choice. It's going to be Waka, Yuna, or Riku. Riku's defense is bad, but she's basically Riku and Yuna also cover the 4 elements. Let's see what we can make for Waka in terms of a weapon or armor. Waka has the nice ability to be able to smack himself. He's going to be very accurate. He'll probably like never miss hitting himself. So, does he have any eaters? Yeah, obviously the water strike is nice for kind of self-healing if you add like a water eater to this. But then it makes it a little bit more ineffective against like for example the arms. So I don't know, like it does feel like this fight's quite built around swapping and changing weapons and armor depending on what you're trying to do. But I guess Penance itself would take more damage, so maybe it'll be a good one for fighting Penance, and not as good for the arms. So I'd consider adding, say, Water Eater and SOS Null to this. Okay, so then for his weapon, what would he have? I guess this could be one of those where it's actually better for him to just have, like, Sense Preserver, for example. Evade and Counter, again, I don't know how useful it's going to be for something like this. Magic Counter may be useful. Magic Counter. His overdrives could be useful. Could add break HP limit. Who the hell knows? So I think Waka's looking like a pretty good option in this fight. I feel. So you could add Sense Preserver. You could add Poison Proof to a weapon, as wild as it sounds. And then if he gets zombified by Violent End, he just heals himself with his weapon anyway. He wouldn't need to worry about anything else. And he can be healed by Yuna as well. He does have an Osmos if he runs out of MP. So I think Waka can be... We can have a pretty nice build for Waka in this one. He'll look quite different to what he has now. Yuna, we have this one that I don't intend to change. But I think for Yuna, she needs a bit more... Yeah, she's in a bit of a strange position. She doesn't have... If I had 3 slots... What can I add to this? I feel like because of her double cast Ultima, she's just going to be useful. I need to make good use of Yuna. And she could plug any gaps in SOS nulls, I guess, if I can't get a full setup for anybody. We could potentially get one in. So... We can get 2 life preservers in there, so she could do one of those. Do one of those. Or we just give her the ribbon. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could go like energy preserver. SOS null and ribbon. So for her, you could build something. It doesn't seem quite as good as Waka's potential, but Riku. Let's have a look at hers. Deathproof, double overdrive. Yeah, I need to, again, I've got this Tetratarge, and it's like, what do you do with this? I think I can still make 1 auto haste. I think for that reason, maybe it's not worth using it on Riku. If I use auto haste on this one, it'll kind of set me up nicely. That should already be quick. Obviously, with another tier of agility and auto haste, she'd be even faster, but maybe it's not necessary to kind of go that crazy. So maybe I could just do that and use the Chocobo wings just to toss on the others for the rest of the fight. So 1 could be nice. So I could do auto haste. She's death proof, but she doesn't have anything else. So you could do auto haste, life preserver. Yeah, huge amount of decisions here. Because there's just so many more things to think about. Like in the original Penance fight, once you figure out that you can just take out the arms whenever you want, it makes life a lot easier. And you only really have to think about like Penance's own move, and there's not really much to think about other than the breaks, and you can't protect against the breaks in vanilla anyway. This one is like you've got all the elemental damage, you've got all of the statuses to deal with, you've got probably breaks later on anyway, you've got Violent End, you've got Judgment Day, all of that crap. So just thinking, can I make an auto haste for Yuna instead? So take Riku up a tier of agility, but give Yuna the auto haste. It's like there's always going to be some kind of gap where I think I have to kind of just switch to this. There's no point protecting against elements and status effects in the same one. I think that's a bit overkill. So I could put auto haste on this one. I mean, magic plus 20 as well. She's up to like magic plus 70% with this combination. So maybe Yuna is the one that needs the auto haste. Obviously, I'd be leaning a lot on her double cast, but it's just such a powerful move. Like having that level of speed and a double cast, I think it could be very, very powerful. And we haven't seen anything yet that completely drains your MP, which is promising. She can also use that as a healing tool for anyone who's got like any Eater armors. So Kimari will have an Eater armor. So will Waka. So it's quite interesting to think about. Auto haste, energy preserver, ribbon. for example. Like, would that be enough to basically take her through the fight? And then anytime we need to deal with the spells, we just switch to her other armor. So that could also work. So I think for that reason, I'm going to take Riku up a notch. She's got like quick pockets and stuff too if she really needs it. So what we're going to do for now, I'm going to maybe just nab the little bit of extra magic defense as well while I'm here. Let's go like 1 here. Yeah, she'll probably have to double her HP anyway, so we'll go here. And then we're going to warp her away, so we're going to not use the second 1 MP cost potential here in order to take her up a notch in terms of her agility. Let me just count this out one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is correct. I'm not going to get the second MP node, but I traded that for a +4 magic defense. That ultimate does scare me. So this is going to be the first kind of save file that I build off for this. Okay, and I think the rest of them at this stage we're kind of done. We have to just hope for the best. Oh, plus 40 MP, that's nice. I probably need to use like mana tonics and stuff in the fight as well. Okay, Yuna. Yeah, she's going to get a lot of... She's going to have like a plus 70% magic. So I'm hoping that's really going to do well. Final bit of HP. Oh shit, I forgot something. I forgot the Aeons at Remiem Temple. What if they give useful shit? I did not consider that. I did not consider that. Shit. I might need to restart this whole thing. I totally forgot. Oh my god. I'm so used to Remiem being something that's just done so much earlier in the whole process that I was just like, eh. But, shit. I think only Yuna gains AP, but maybe she doesn't gain AP in this one, because obviously that would kind of make her less balanced. Wow, I totally forgot. Okay, my friends, that's it for this week. I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode. I will see you guys for the next one. Please remember once again to drop a like if you've had a good time with this one. And I will see you guys next week for the next episode. Thank you for watching. Take care.